विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते स्वामिनिधि नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. Yes. So in our last session, we covered the second section of Bhagavad Gita, Sankhya Yoga, where Krishna he beautifully explained about soul and body, what is the difference between soul and body, and soul, various qualities, various aspects of the soul, how soul is indestructible, it cannot be destroyed, cannot be killed, it cannot be slain. So like that, Krishna he explained in detail about soul, and how he explained that we are not this body, we are the spirit soul, and that spirit soul eternally it exists. It was existing in the past, it is existing in the present, or it will exist in the future. In whatever condition it may be, it will continue to exist as an individual spirit soul. There is no restriction to the soul, whereas this body is destructible. It manifests and get destroyed, annihilated. Like that, Krishna he explained about the soul and the body, various aspects of soul and body. Now, Krishna from verse 31st onwards, he starts speaking about Karma Yoga, and especially till 37th verse, he speaks about Sakama Karma Yoga. There are two types of Karma Yoga. One prescribed duty. Karma means one's prescribed duty. That is karma. And those prescribed duties are two types. First is Sakama and second is Nishkama. Sakama are those where I work and I expect some fruit or some result in return. That is known as Sakama Yoga. And Nishkama Yoga is I work but I don't expect any result of fruit. Whatever it will come, but I don't expect. That is Nishkama Yoga. Nishkama Karma Yoga. So Sakama Karma Yoga, Krishna is going to explain that what kind of results you can get for Arjuna by fighting this war. So if you see very beautiful, Krishna, this thing quality is, he is explaining to Krishna in all different aspects, from basics with different point of view. Krishna is explaining to Arjuna. So we'll read about this, what Krishna explains about Sakama Karma Yoga, where one expects the results or the fruit of the work. So I'll share my screen. Verse first. So all of join me in chanting the shloka. Swadharmam api cha vaikshaya navikampitum arhasi dharmyadhi yudhishtreyonyat kshatriya yasya na vidyate. Anyone would like to chant this shloka? कोई श्लोक chant करना चाहेगा? Someone else? your कोई और ट्राई करना चाहेगा?
स्वधर्मम अपि च वीक्ष्य न विकम्पितुम् अर्हसि धर्म्याधि युद्ध च श्रेयोन्यात् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते.
Someone else? कोई और ट्राई करना चाहेगा? Okay, so we'll read the translation. Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles. So there is no need for hesitation. Krishna is telling that your specific duty, your Swadharma is Kshatriya. And for a Kshatriya, there cannot be a better engagement than fighting on religious principles. For Dharma, for a Kshatriya, it is a great opportunity to fight for Dharma. So there is no need for hesitation. You should not hesitate, Krishna is telling. So we'll read the purport and we'll understand more in detail. Out of 4 orders of social administration, the second order for the matter of good administration is called Kshatriya. Kshatriya means herd. One who gives protection from harm is called Kshatriya. Trayate, to give protection. The Kshatriyas are trained for killing in the forest. A Kshatriya would go into the forest and challenge a tiger face to face and fight with tiger with his sword. When the tiger was killed, be offered the royal order of cremation. This system is followed even up to the present day by the Kshatriya kings of Jaipur state. The Kshatriyas is specially trained for challenging and killing because religious violence is sometimes a necessary factor. Therefore, Kshatriya are never meant for accepting directly the order of sannyasa or renunciation. So here very nice thing Prabhupada has mentioned. Kshatriya means Shati Trayate iti Kshatriya. The one who protects from the danger, from the hurt, is known as a Kshatriya. And now this Kshatriya, he has to give protection. So protection is also involves sometimes non-violence. Violence. It involves violence. Killing, it involves. So to kill somebody, these Kshatriyas train themselves. How they train themselves? They go to the forest and they fight with the tiger. They fight with the tigers. So in this way, they try to train themselves so that when there is a danger, they can give sufficient protection to their citizens. That is the duty of a Kshatriya. And even Prabhupada's mentioned, we know, like some 50-100 years back, till that time, these Kshatriyas, they were used to, especially the king used to go to forest for hunting. That was their one of their hobby. That hobby is meant for their training. Some took as a hobby, but actually it is meant for training. It is meant for their training. Now, further we'll read, non-violence in politics may be a diplomacy, but it is never a factor or principle. In the religious law book, it is stated, what it is stated in Dharma Shastra also, it is stated about Kshatriya Dharma, what is the Dharma of a Kshatriya. In the battlefield, a king or a Kshatriya, while fighting another king envious of him, is eligible for achieving heavenly planets after death, as the Brahmanas also attain heavenly planets by sacrificing animals in the sacrificial fire. So, till Dwapar Yuga, the Brahmanas, they used to perform Gomedha Yagna, Ashwamedha Yagna. Like this, they used to perform various kind of yagnas so that they can attain heavenly planets. That used to be their prescribed duty, that used to be their swadharma. And by sacrificing such animals, how animal is getting benefited? That animal used to attain higher form of life, human form of life immediately. And these brahmanas, when they perform such prescribed duties, they are also get higher form of life, heavenly planets. Similarly, for a Kshatriya, his duty is to give protection, fight against adharma. That is his duty. That is his duty. So when he is fighting and he gets killed, so he attains heavenly planet after death. Further, therefore, killing on the battle on the religious principles and killing of animal in the sacrificial fire are not at all considered to be act of violence, because everyone is benefited by religious principle involved. The animal is sacrificed, getting human life immediately without undergoing the gradual evolutionary process from one form to another, and Kshatriya killed in the battlefield also attain the heavenly planets, as do the Brahmanas who attain them by offering sacrifice. So from here we can understand how by performing our prescribed duties, our dharma, one can attain the higher form of life. So for that one has to perform his own prescribed duty. Now here it's going to further explain in detail what are the prescribed duties. There are two kinds of swadharma, specific duty. As long as one is not liberated, one has to perform the duties of that particular body in accordance with the religious principles in order to achieve liberation. When one is liberated, one's swadharma, specific duty, becomes spiritual and is not in the material bodily concept. The bodily conception of life, there is specific duties for the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas respectively, and such duties are unavoidable. So dharma is ordered by the Lord, and this will be clarified in the 4th chapter. On the bodily plane, Swadharma is called Varnashrama Dharma, or man's stepping stone for spiritual understanding. Human civilization begins from the stage of Varnashrama Dharma, or specific duties in terms of specific modes of nature of the body obtained. Discharging one's specific duty in any field of action in accordance with the Varnashrama Dharma serves to elevate one to the higher status of life. So here, it helps us to understand many things. First thing is, so dharma is of two types. Prescribed duties are of two types. Those categories are basically based on the two things, that is, if we are on the bodily concept of life, that I am this body, we don't consider ourselves as a elevated spiritual soul, spirit soul. That is one thing, that is one category of swadharma. Another is we consider ourselves as a part and parcel of the Lord. Mamevamsha Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, as a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord Krishna, and based on that spiritual identity, we perform our prescribed duties. So here we can notice how Krishna, first of all, he mentioned about how Arjuna is the spirit soul, which is the part and parcel of Krishna. So as a part and parcel of Krishna, as a spirit soul, also it is his duty, it is his dharma to follow what Krishna says, to fight for the battle. And if he is on bodily conception of life, still he has to fight, because for a Kshatriya, dharma is to protect, to give protection to the citizens. So for that matter also, he is supposed to fight. He should not escape from fight. Just like Brahmanas. Brahmanas prescribed duty is to do the sacrifice, to perform the yagna. And in Kali Yuga, yagna is Sankirtan yagna. To perform the Sankirtana, perform the chanting of the holy names. That is the Yuga Dharma of Kali Yuga. So like this, every yuga there are different dharmas, and whether you are on bodily conception of life or a spiritual conception of life, you should perform your duties. If you are on bodily concept of life, you should perform your duties to make spiritual progress. Make spiritual progress in your life. And if you are on spiritual conception of life, then also you have to perform your duties. So that is the purpose. So here we can see how, in fact, sometimes people, they give this argument that we are in this material life. Krishna has put us in this material life, in this body, in this family, in this grasta life. We cannot do bhakti. No, to make spiritual progress, it is required. We should do bhakti at our own level. We should try to make progress more and more. Then also we should do bhakti. Not like we get free from all the things, then only we'll do bhakti. No, to make spiritual progress, it is very important to perform the prescribed duty to serve the Lord. As a part and parcel also, our duty is to serve the Lord. And even though we are not liberated, we are in this material body, then also it is a duty to serve the Lord so that we can get liberated. Right? We'll read the next verse. Yadrichaya cha ponnannam sargadwaram apavritam sukhina kshatriya partha labante yuddham idrisham. Translation: O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets. When Kshatriya, they get opportunity to participate in the fighting, participate in the yuddha, they feel very fortunate, they feel very happy, because such fighting open the door of liberation, door of heavenly planets for them. But as supreme teacher of the world, Lord Krishna condemns the attitude of Arjuna, who said, I do not find any good in this fighting. It will cause perpetually habitation in hell. Such a statement by Arjuna were due to ignorance only. He wanted to become non-violent in discharging of his specific duty. For a Kshatriya to be in the battlefield and to become non-violent is the philosophy of fools. In the Parashara Smriti, or religious code made by Parashara, the great sage, the father of Vyasadeva, it is said, Kshatriyo hi praja rakshan shastra pani pradayanam nirjitya prasrainyadi sitim dharmena palyet. The Kshatriya's duty is to protect the citizen from all kinds of difficulties. And for that reason, he has to apply violence in suitable cases for law and order. Therefore, he has to conquer the soldiers of the inimical king, and thus, with religious principles, he should rule over the world. Considering all aspects, Arjuna had no reason to refrain from fighting. If he should conquer his enemies, he would enjoy the kingdom. And if he should die in the battle, he would be elevated to the heavenly planets, whose doors were wide open. fighting would be for his benefit in either case. So here, Krishna, he is refuting one of the argument of Arjuna, that Arjuna, remember in the first chapter, end of the first chapter, he said this one of the reason he gave for fighting was it is sinful. When we go to hellish planet, Narka Dwara, Arjuna mentions Narka Dwara. By fighting, one will go to Narka, hellish planets. But here Krishna is telling Kshatriyas, when they get the opportunity to fight, protect the dharma, the doors on heavenly planets, Swarga Dwara, are open for them. And here Parashar Muni is also explaining what is the duty of a Kshatriya is to give protection to the citizens from all kind of difficulties. That is the duty of administration, government. We can say government also to keep law and order, to maintain that law and order. This entire, we see entire defense system is there, defense ministry is there, keep law and order, right? This violence is required in case protect or maintain law and order, protect the citizens. There is a jails are there, police are there, army is there, CRPF, all such different varieties of troops are there, armies are there, just to keep law and order, just to maintain the peace and harmony in the society. Same way, Krishna is guiding Arjuna that this war is meant to protect the dharma. This is dharma yuddha, Krishna is telling. So here, first Krishna in this section he spoke about Swadharma. Second, he is telling about how you can attain the Swarga by performing the Swadharma, by performing your prescribed duty. You will get Swarga as a result. You will get Swarga as a result. Third verse will read, Atha chettam imam dharmyam संग्रामं न करिष्यसि तथा स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापं अवाप्स्यसि. So here we read the translation. If however you do not fight this religious war, then you will certainly incur sin of neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. So this verse, Krishna is mentioning two results. Not following and following. Not following, you will incur the sin. If you don't perform your prescribed duty, you will incur the sin. But if you follow your duties, prescribed duties, you neglecting your duties and thus you will lose your reputation. Yes. So Krishna is telling about the consequences of not fighting, not following the duties, not performing the dharma, karma. So he is telling, first thing is you will incur papa, sin you will incur. Second thing is you will lose the reputation, akirti. So two things Krishna is telling about here as a result of performing the duty, prescribed duty. We'll read the purpose. Arjuna was a famous fighter, and he attained fame by fighting many great demigods, including even Lord Shiva. After fighting and defeating Lord Shiva in the dress of a hunter, Arjuna pleased the Lord and received as a reward a weapon called Pashupatra Astra. Everyone knew that he was a great warrior. Even Dronacharya gave him benediction and awarded him the special weapon by which he could kill even his teacher. So he was credited with so many military certificates from many authorities, including his adopted father Indra. the heavenly king. But if he abandoned the battle, he would not only neglect his specific duty as a Kshatriya, but he would also lose all his fame and fame, and thus prepare his royal road to hell. In other words, he would go to hell not by fighting, but by withdrawing from the battle. So here Prabhupada is mentioning that by neglecting his prescribed duties, Arjuna, who is neglecting his prescribed duty, not fighting for the Dharma, so what will happen? By neglecting his duties, he will go to hell. He will go to hell. And his reputation will also get tainted. His reputation will also get affected by not fighting. So here, Arjuna, he was a very great warrior. He was very famous. How he was a great and famous? By great authorities, by great demigods, also he has attained the weapons, just like Lord Shiva. Once Lord Shiva, he was in the garb, in the dress of hunter. He went and shoot an animal. And same time Arjuna also had shooted an same animal. So Lord Shiva is claiming, this is my hunt. I have hunted him. I have killed him. This is my prey. Arjuna is also claiming, this is mine. So like that, both are claiming that this is mine, this is mine. So what happens? They fight. They fight for that animal. And when by that fight, Lord Shiva get pleased. Bhagwan jo Shiv hai, he get pleased by Arjuna. And as a result, he gave him Pashupatrastra. He gave him that weapon. And with Indra also, Arjuna has fought. Anyone remembers? किसी को याद है इंद्रा के साथ कैसे लड़े थे Arjuna when he fought? So when this Khandava forest was getting burned to cure Agni Dev wanted to get cured by eating this Khandava forest. So Indra was there. He was showering the rain to protect his friend Takshaka, who is a serpent. So Arjuna, he was continuously fighting against Indra. He was fighting Indra so that Agni can consume the entire Khandava Prastha forest and get cured. And that's how Arjuna, he got his bow, Gandiv, and this chariot from Agni Dev. So when Indra, he also got pleased, he also blessed him with a divine weapon. So like that, Arjuna, he fought with great people and he received various weapons. Like this, his kirti, his fame was spread all over the world, not only to this worldly planet Earth, to other planets also. His kirti, his reputation was established. And for the purpose of protecting Dharma, if he don't fight, he will incur sin. He will incur sin. And on whose order he is going to fight? Krishna's order. Suppose just like in the army, there is a special force, some force is there. They are on a mission, certain mission against some terrorism or some mission is there to protect the nation. But one of the army person, he is not following the order. He is not following the order of his superiors who is leading the mission. And because of that, their mission is failed. They are failed in their mission. So what will happen? He has to give the justification. He will be presented in the court, in their army court, martial court. He will be presented that he has not followed the order, and because of that, they have lost the mission. So it will bring both things. It will incur the sin also, not following the orders, not fighting to give protection, and it will also bring down the reputation. He will lose his reputation. Same way Krishna is telling the same point to Arjuna, that as a result of not performing your duties, not performing your prescribed duty, you will incur sin and you will incur this, you will not get reputation, a kirti. So first Krishna he spoke about Swadharma, your prescribed duties. Second, he spoke about how you can attain Swarga by performing your prescribed duties. And if you don't perform your prescribed duties, you get Papa. And next, he is telling you will get Akirti. Third, again, he is telling you will get Akirti as a result. Read this verse. Akirtim chapi bhutani katha yishyanti te vayam Sambhavavitasya cha kirtir maranat atichiriyate. Translation: people will always speak of your infamy, and for one who has been honored, dishonor is worse than death. Dishonor is even worse than death. Krishna is telling here. He is telling about Akirti. So, we'll read purport first. Both as a friend and a philosopher to Arjuna, Lord Krishna now gives his final judgment regarding Arjuna's refusal to fight. The Lord says, Arjuna, if you leave the battlefield, people will call you a coward even before your actual fight. And if you think that people may call you bad names, but that you will save your life by fleeing the battlefield, then my advice is that you had do better die in the battle. For a respectable man like you, ill fame is worse than death. So you should not flee for fear of your life. Better to die in the battle. That will save you from the ill fame of misusing my friendship and from losing your prestige in the society. So the final judgment of the Lord was for Arjuna to die in the battle, not withdraw. So here Krishna is showing another one angle, one aspects, one of the different point of view he is presenting to Arjuna. What he is saying, that if you don't fight, if you don't fight this battlefield, what will happen? People, they will call you as a coward, liar, darpok. Like that they will call you. They will not think, oh, because of compassion, you don't want this non-violence, don't want to kill your friends, relatives, grandfather, teacher. You don't want to kill them. That's why you are not fighting. They will not see all these things. What they will see? Oh, you are such a weak person. You are darpok, coward. That you are not fighting this battle. That's why I advise you that better you die in this battle. Better you die. So here, for a Kshatriya, dishonor, infamy is very, very difficult for them. They can tolerate anything, but they cannot tolerate their disrespect, dishonor, or infamy. They cannot tolerate such things. Things for them, tolerating disrespect, dishonor, all these things are very difficult. To prove them, they can do anything. They can do anything. Just like Prabhupada, he mentions, like some 300, 400 years back, there was a king, Yashomant Sena. Like that, there was a king, and he was fighting, and he got defeated in the battle. So one of the messenger went and gave this news to the queen, to the wife of this Yashomansena king. He gave that news that a king got defeated and king is returning back. So what the wife of this king did, she closed the doors. She closed the doors of the palace. And when king came, she didn't allow to enter the king. She asked, "Who are you?" He said, "I am King Yashomansena." "Oh, you are not king. You are a coward. तुम तो कायर हो, तुम king नहीं हो." For a king, either he wins the battle or he dies in the battle, but he doesn't return back. He doesn't return back. So such is the glories of real Kshatriyas. Real Kshatriya, they fight, but they don't surrender or they don't withdraw. They don't withdraw. They can surrender also. Some Kshatriyas, they surrender when it is required, but they prefer to fight. They feel happy, get that opportunity of fighting. This next verse. भयाद्रणादुपरताम् ममस्यन्ते त्वं महारथः येषां च त्वं बहुर्मतो भूत्वा यशस्यसि लाघवम्. Translation: the great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battle out of fear only, and thus they will consider you a coward. So Krishna is clearly telling how you will get a kirti, infamy, and further he is telling ninda. Ninda means criticism. Now you have to face criticism also. If you flee from this war, if you don't fight this battle, you will get ninda, means criticism from other people. So Krishna is telling, highly esteem your name. They are Maharathas. Like in the army, there is a colonel, lieutenant, commander-in-chief, like that. There are different designation. Similarly, during those days, there used to be Atirathas, Maharathas, like that. There used to be designation in the army. So Krishna is telling the great generals, Maharathas, they consider you as a very great fighter, great warrior. But when you leave this battlefield, they will think, out of fear you have left, not out of compassion or not out of some other reasons. You have left out of fear. You will get ninda, you will get criticism by not performing your prescribed duty. Krishna is telling. Lord Krishna continued to give his verdict to Arjuna. Do not think that great generals like Duryodhana, Karna and other contemporaries will think that you have left the battlefield out of compassion for your brothers and grandfather. They will think that you have left out of fear for your life. अपनी जान के लिए, अपने life के लिए, you have feared out of your life to protect yourself. You have left this battlefield. Thus, their high estimation of your personality will go to hell. So far, they are considering you as a great person, as a great warrior. But if you withdraw from this battle, if you don't perform your prescribed duty, what will happen? They will think that out of fear, you have left this battlefield. Just like when we join as a full-time devotee, when we become as a full-time devotee, many people, they ask us, "Oh, you have joined because you didn't got a good job, because of that you have joined temple, or you were very depressed, you didn't work out in your life properly, like things didn't went well, there was a stress, family was not good, or you were not doing well in your studies, and in some case they say, oh, some lover may have cheated, that's why you have felt very bad in your life, you have come and joined the temple. So like that people, they think. But for what purpose we join is to spread this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, to serve the Lord. For that reason we join. But those who don't know, they are not equipped with proper knowledge, they think that out of fear or out of some stress we are doing such activity. That's why it is very, very important to know the purpose. So far Arjuna was thinking this battle is just for a kingdom, to get a piece of land. For that purpose this battlefield is going to be fought. But Krishna is mentioning this battle is not an ordinary battle. This is Dharma Yuddha. And if you don't fight, people will criticize you. You will get Papa, you will not get Swarga, you will get hellish planets, you will get Akirti, all such things you will get as a result of not performing your prescribed duties. Just like there was a very great freedom fighter, Chandrasekhar Azad. When he was, at the end of his life, when Britishers attacked him, so what he did, he shooted himself. He preferred not to die from the hand of Britishers. For him, this dishonor is worse. He didn't give the opportunity to the enemy to kill him. He preferred to die by himself. He shot himself to maintain his reputation. Kirti, he preferred to die himself, not by others. Such is the Kshatriya spirit. We'll read the next verse, 56th verse. Avachya vadamscha bahun vadishyanti tava hitah indatasva smarthayam tato dukkhataram mukim. Translation: your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? So Krishna is telling your enemies will describe you in many unkind words. They will talk ill about you. Just like many times there are certain pastimes, there are certain leelas of the Lord where people say, oh, how Lord can do this thing like that, how he can act. Just like he steals the butter. So externally they see that Krishna is stealing the butter and they criticize Krishna for his activity. Same way Krishna is telling that people will describe you in many unkind words. They will say you forward, pope. Like that they will judge your ability. All that they will do. And for a Kshatriya, it is very much painful. Just like for an army person, if you criticize him, for him it is very difficult to tolerate. He cannot tolerate his criticism. Same way, Krishna is telling it will be very painful for you. Ninda, you will get ninda. But Lord Krishna was astonished in the beginning at Arjuna's uncalled for plea for compassion, and he described his compassion as befitting for the non-Aryas. Now in so many words, he has proved his statement against Arjuna's so-called compassion. So Krishna, that Arjuna, he was showing his compassion, but Krishna has proved your compassion is not going to help. Your kindness, your daya is not going to help. In fact, it will bring a kirti. It will bring ninda. It will bring this criticism from the others. Therefore, fight. And previously, he was mentioning that you are my friend, and our friendship, eh, our friendship will also get misusing of my friendship. It will get also lose its prestige. What kind of friendship Lord and Arjuna was having, that Krishna is even ready to drive his chariot, become his driver. To that extent, Krishna is ready. So such greatness is there in the friendship of Lord Krishna and Arjuna, that Krishna is ready to become a chariot driver for Arjuna. And all this will go in vain. All this will go in vain. Next verse. अतो वा प्राप्यसि स्वर्गं जित्वा न भोक्ष्यसे महिम् तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धया कृतनिश्चयः. Translation. O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield or attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up and fight with determination. So there are two possibilities Krishna is presenting in front of Arjuna as a conclusion. By performing your described duties, one thing is you may get killed. तुम मर जाओगे बैटल में, युद्ध में तुम मारे जाओगे. You will get killed in the battlefield. Second thing is, by getting killed, you will attain the heavenly kingdoms. You will attain the heavenly planets. But if you win, then also you will enjoy this earthly kingdom. In both the situations, you are going to enjoy. Krishna is concluding. Earlier, we saw how Arjuna, he was telling, it is both ways, it is loss situation. But Krishna is telling both ways it is win-win situation. Therefore, fight. Krishna is telling, therefore you should fight. Purport will read, even though there was no certainty of victory for Arjuna's side, he still had to fight. Even being killed there, he could be elevated into heavenly planets. So here in the 6th verse, we see how Arjuna, he was saying that I don't know. In both ways, there is a loss only. It is a loss situation. But here Krishna is establishing, no, it is not a loss situation. It is a win-win situation in both the cases. Here Arjuna is mentioning, nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. The sons of Dhritarashtra, whom if we kill, we should not care to live, are now standing before us on this. So, like that, Arjuna, he was presenting, it is a loss. Both ways we are going to lose. Both ways it is loss only. Therefore, this battle, this fight, this war is of no use. Arjuna was presenting, but now Krishna is saying it is a win-win situation. It is a win-win situation. If you fight and get killed, you will attain heavenly kingdoms. And if you conquer, you will enjoy the earthly kingdom. So that is the thing that we can understand is, perform prescribed duties is very, very important. Swadharma. Even though we are in this bodily conception of life, this human life is meant for making spiritual progress. Right? To grow spiritually, to make spiritual progress, it is very important to serve the Lord, to take up the path of Bhakti Yoga. And other way around also, if we see that we are the part and parcel of the Lord Krishna, we are his part, Jivera Swarup Hoy, Nityera Krishna Das, we are the part and servant of Lord Krishna. So it is our duty to serve him. It is our duty to serve him. So in both the situations, we should try to serve Krishna best of our capacity. And by serving Krishna, we attain the perfection of human life. So with this, we'll end. If anyone has anything to share, ask, please feel free to share or ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Anji, Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I have some doubts and questions. I'm sorry for my ignorance. बट मेरे को ये डाउट्स अपने लिए नहीं है, लेकिन लोग इस तरह की बात करते हैं, इसलिए ये डाउट आते हैं.
Anji.
हो सकता है मैं ये चीज गलत समझ रहा हूँ कि मैंने शायद कि स्क्रिप्चर्स में ये चीज लिखा है कि नहीं लिखा कि सेक्रीफाइस ऑफ एनिमल्स बाय ब्राह्मण्स आर डन. तो उसमें आपने ये चीज बताई कि वो सेक्रीफाइस इसलिए करा जाता है सो दैट इट इज इन टुवर्ड्स गॉड, और वो उससे वो दोज एनिमल्स आल्सो वुड गेट लाइक मोक्षा फ्रॉम देयर बॉडी, एनिमल बॉडीज और व्हाट. सो इसमें तो सेक्रीफाइस ब्राह्मणास जब कर रहे हैं, यही आर्ग्यूमेंट जैसे अदर रिलीजन्स देते हैं कि आप भी तो ये चीज करते हो, वो कहते हैं कि हम भी सेक्रीफाइस करके गॉड को, उसी कारण हम उस मीट को खाते हैं या उसको खाया जाता है, एनिमल को खाया जाता है. सो हाउ डज दैट, लाइक हमको इस चीज में कैसे वो हो रही है, तालमेल बैठ रहा है?
Correct. So very nice question. So in this Sanatan Dharma, where scriptures are so wide, so vast, and so much details are there, it accommodates all different class of people at their respective position. Suppose a person who wants to eat meat, he is not able to give up this non-veg. He cannot give up this eating meat. He want to eat meat. For that also scriptures, there are certain rules and regulations are there to be followed. By following that, they can have the meat, they can eat the meat. So all that things are there. And especially this sacrifice by the Brahmanas are not ordinary sacrifice. This Gomeda Yagna, Ashwameda Yagna, all these Yagnas, the thing is, first of all, for these Yagnas, Brahmanas, qualified Brahmanas are required, not an ordinary Brahmana. Ordinary Brahmanas cannot do these Yagnas. That's why in this Kali Yuga, these Yagnas are not at all recommended. Lord Buddha came especially to stop the people to perform these Yagnas. The Brahmanas who were not qualified, they were performing such Yagnas, killing all these animals for this reason only. But they are not qualified. So what will happen as a result? That poor animal, that goat, that cow or horse, whatever it is, he will not attain the higher form of life, human form of life. That's why Lord Buddha, he came to stop these yagnas. Especially he came for this purpose. Ahimsa Paro Dharma. So these scriptures, they are very vast, they are very wide. Our scriptures, even Brahmanas, they used to enjoy this meat which is sacrificed, the animal meat which is sacrificed in the fire. They used to take pleasure in eating that meat. There was a time in the Treta Yuga and in the beginning of Dwapar Yuga, they used to enjoy the meat. Even there was one pastime mentioned in one of the scripture that once that Kshatriya, that king, he didn't give the Yagna Shishta. He didn't give that sacrificed meat to the Brahmanas. So Brahmanas, they cursed that king. So they used to take it as a yagna shishta. But what happened when it becomes for sense gratification in Kali Yuga, in the beginning of Kali Yuga? Lord Buddha, Krishna came personally as a Lord Buddha, incarnated as Lord Buddha to stop all this. So there are various other religions in Sanatan Dharma. Lot of you will find. That's why one of the best thing in the Sanatan Dharma is, if you want to understand Veda, Acharyavan Purusho Veda. If you want to understand about the Vedas, about the scriptures, you should approach a qualified person, Acharya. You should approach a bona fide person, Acharya. From him, you should try to understand. Just like if you see stool is very impure, but cow stool is considered as the purest stool, and even it is used in the deity worship. Otherwise, when we, as a human also, when we pass a human stool, when we clear our stomach, we have to take the bath to perform deity worship. But cow stool is even used for deity worship. We use in Abhishekam, we do the Abhisheka of the Lord by that cow urine, by that cow stool. So all these controversies are there in the scriptures. One thing, stool is not pure, but another way you see cow stool, it is pure. Bone is not used. That any kind of bone, if you see, is not allowed. It is considered as impure. But conch, if you see, it is used in the altar. Bhagwan ki seva ke liye, abhishekam ke liye, we use that conch. So that's why all these different controversies are there. Things are there which confuse us. But when we approach a bona fide person, when we approach an Acharya, we get clear understanding about the Vedas. There are other people, they criticize in your religion also it is allowed, all these things. Yes, it is allowed. For certain category of the people, it is allowed. And if you have that qualification, then also it is allowed. If you have that kind of qualification, but that purity is not possible in this Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, Yuga Dharma is Sankirtana Yagna. Not this Gomeda Yagya, Ashwamedha Yagya, all these yagnas are not meant for Kali Yuga. Okay, so hope this gives clear understanding.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, thank you for your clarity. प्रभु एक क्वेश्चन और था मेरा कि जो आज का टॉपिक भी है डिसऑनर. सो मेरे को I can understand why Krishna invoked that dishonor for Arjuna or some, so that he can perform his duty. But isn't not that dishonor also is coming from the false ego?
Dishonor is coming from the false ego. Yes, that's why Krishna is telling. Both way Krishna is telling. First he spoke is about soul. You are a soul, you are a spirit soul, and for that purpose also you should fight. From that point of view also Krishna is presenting, you should fight. But even if you are considering yourself as a bodily conception of life, then also you should fight. You should perform your prescribed duties, swadharma. You are considering yourself as a Kshatriya, then also you should fight. And for a Kshatriya, what is important is their honor, their mana, their respect. That is important for them. So Krishna is showing both views. If you are a spirit soul, then also you should fight. But even though if you are a bodily conception, means what? False ego. I am male, I am female, I am Indian, I am this, I am Hindu, I am this. So whatever it is, whatever kind of false ego you may have, Krishna is telling you, I have a false ego of a Kshatriya, then also you should fight. You should not restrain from fighting. So Krishna is, in fact, 2 verses back, Krishna was giving atheistic philosophy also. He was telling, even though if you think there is no soul, there is no soul. So simply if you destroy matter also, what difference does it make? So Krishna is presenting all point of view, different point of view. But at the end, he give what is the highest thing. He conclude also. So like that, Krishna is presenting these points. So yes, Krishna is through false ego also. Krishna is telling if you have false ego, also if you are on bodily conception of life also, you should perform your prescribed duties. Kshatriya duties.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for explaining.
Any other question? Yes, Deepak ji. Hare Krishna. Any other question?
मेरी
प्रभु जी
प्रश्न
हरे कृष्णा
मेरे प्रश्न में
हाँ जी
हेलो
दीपक।
सॉरी मैं अपना क्वेश्चन पूछना चाह रहा था, वो रिलेटेड था जो अभी पूछा गया था क्वेश्चन। तो मुझे भी ये प्रश्न आ रहा था जब हम इसके बारे में अध्ययन कर रहे थे। तो जो ये सेक्रीफाइस है एनिमल्स का ब्राह्मणों द्वारा, आपने कहा है कि एक लर्नर्ड ब्राह्मण ही ये कर सकता है और वो नहीं मिलेगा आज की डेट में। लेकिन आज भी कुछ राज्यों में इंडिया में ये किया जाता है, जैसे छत्तीसगढ़ है, मैं वहाँ छत्तीसगढ़ नहीं झारखंड, मैं वहाँ पर्सनली रहा हूँ और मैंने खुद में भी देखा हुआ है वो होते हुए। तो मुझे ये है कि यही लोग, जैसे इन्होंने बताया कि अन्य धर्मों में भी इस तरीके का लोग कंपैरिजन करते हैं कि वो भी, फॉर एग्जांपल मैं मुस्लिम धर्म की बात लेता हूँ, तो वो भी कहते हैं कि हम भी जो है अपनी पूजा पाठ और स्क्रिप्चर पता नहीं पढ़कर तब वध करते हैं उसका, एनिमल का। और दूसरा मेरा एक तो ये मेरा प्रश्न था कि मैं ये मान सकता हूँ, मेरे को अभी यही अंडरस्टैंडिंग मिली है कि वो तो गलत है, क्योंकि अगर हमारा जो धर्म है अपना गीता है, उसके अनुसार एक लर्नड ब्राह्मण ही कर सकता है और वो प्योरिटी नहीं मिल सकती। तो आज की डेट में जो भी सेक्रीफाइस हो रहा है एनिमल्स का वो गलत है 101%, चाहे कोई भी रिलीजन करता हो। पर मुझे एक और प्रश्न था, जब ब्राह्मण ये करते थे तो वो कैसे ये सिलेक्ट करते थे कौन सा एनिमल का सेक्रीफाइस किया जाए? उनको कैसे पता लगता था कि ये या तो सबसे गंदा एनिमल है, मीन्स दुराचारी एनिमल है, जैसे कि कोई शेर आ गया वो मार रहा है किसी को, या कोई बकरी ऐसी है कि वो फाइट करती रहती है? कैसे उनको पता लगता था कौन से जानवर का सेक्रीफाइस किया जाए? और वो मतलब मुझे लगता है मतलब ये चीज जो है ना फिट नहीं हो रही मेरे दिमाग में, पता नहीं मेरा अज्ञानतावश, कि कैसे एक धर्म सपोर्ट कर सकता है कि एनिमल किलिंग की, और अगर भगवान जिन अल्टीमेट गॉड लॉर्ड कृष्णा है और उनको अगर किसी एनिमल को मरवा के किसी का भला करना है तो वो एनिमल को क्यों मरवाना चाहते हैं? वो तो खुद भी ऐसा कर सकते हैं, एक पलक झपकते ही।
Yes. So again, now it's a very important thing also to understand, and there are a lot of basics also in this for us to understand. First of all, these yagnas, sacrifice, is meant for our spiritual progress. These prescribed duties are meant for our spiritual progress. When we perform such activities, yagna means what? For the pleasure of the Lord. When we perform any yagna, when it gives the pleasure to the Lord, so what happens? We make spiritual progress. It happens. And second thing is, these yagnas are not whimsical yagnas. कि मेरा मन चाहता है मैं ये मारूं या ये करूं, वो यज्ञ हो गया, नहीं. It should be authorized by the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastras. In the scriptures, it should be authorized. There is a proper vidhi is there. To perform such yagnas, minimum 4 brahmanas are required. To perform these Gomeda, Ashwameda yagnas, minimum 4 brahmanas are required. 2 brahmanas is who are offering their offerings in the yagna. 1 brahmana is to chant the mantra, and 1 brahmana to oversee everything is going perfectly well or not. That's why 4 brahmanas, qualified brahmanas, are required. And those brahmanas are not just like, if you see this Janmejay, the son of Parikshit Maharaj, to kill the serpents, to kill all the serpents, because Takshaka, that serpent killed that Parikshit Maharaj. To kill all the serpents, he called the qualified Brahmanas to perform the yajna. Right? So these qualified Brahmanas, when they follow certain sadhana process, they become pure. They become pure, eligible to perform such yagnas, because such yagnas involve certain life is involved. That cow or that horse is involved in that sacrifice. If that sacrifice fails, what happened? That cow will get killed. That spiritual progress of that cow will get affected. Just like any living entity has his spiritual journey. Suppose he is a some kind of insect. From insect he will become some bird or some other species. From that he will get some animal species. Then he will get cowish species. Then further he will get some human species. And that in that human species he will get opportunity to attain liberation. So there is a spiritual journey is there. So what happened when we kill some living entity? Their spiritual journey is hampered. We have destroyed their spiritual journey. So that's why these brahmanas must be qualified to perform these yagnas, so that that cow immediately gets a higher form of life. For the benefit of that cow, this brahmanas, and for their benefit also. Of course, they also get benefited, and cow is also getting benefited in that yagna. When they perform that yagna, both that cow but these brahmanas get benefited, both get spiritual elevated, both get spiritually elevated. So like that, these prescribed duties are performed, these yagnas are performed for the pleasure of the Lord, so that this entire universe can function, can work in peace and harmony. So that is the purpose of these yagnas. Hope this helps you, gives clear.
Yeah, it reinforces the point that you made earlier. The only thing is, again, so maybe that will be, going into too detail, like what animal, what senses they had to select the animal, whether it is healthy or any random animal they can choose to perform this. That was my one question. And second one regarding Gautam Buddha, you said Buddha was the incarnation of Lord Krishna. I haven't seen any image of Gautam Buddha, if you're referring the Gautam Buddha, in any of the temple. Like I haven't seen, maybe I missed something.
No,
As an
Gautam
incarnation
Buddha,
of.
Lord Buddha is primarily worshipped in the eastern part, because his teachings were spread moreover in the eastern side. Like if you go to this China side and further those countries, you will see there are Buddhist monasteries are there. There are some temple of Lord Buddha. Like in Nepal, we went some 2-3 months back. There are some monasteries and some temples of Lord Buddha are there in Nepal. In Tibet, it is there. Some all these eastern side, moreover eastern side, these Lord Buddha teachings and temples, all those followers, in fact, followers of Buddhist religions are there. In fact, what major followers of our entire world, if you see, Islam, Christianity, and Buddhist, these and then comes Hindu and all this. Some in top 5 followers, if you see religion followers, Buddhist is one of them. Buddhist followers are one of them. Yes.
So Buddhists are also part of Lord Krishna's philosophy. Like, can I
No,
assume that or make
Lord
that kind of
Krishna,
perspective?
he came for particular for one purpose. Like Lord Krishna as a Buddha came particularly for one purpose, just like Lord comes for different purposes. Just like he came as a Lord Ram to establish as a Maryada Purushottam Ram. He came as a Maryada Purushottam Ram to establish how a king, how a human being should lead his life. That he depicted in that incarnation. when Krishna came, he came as a Leela Purushottam. He performed all the Leelas, whatever is possible. He did all the Leelas. He is not bounded any rules and regulation. He wanted to thief. He became a butter thief. He did all whatever all in such activities he did, stealing the clothes of the gopis. All that he did because he is a lord. He is not bound by any rules and regulation. But Lord Buddha, he came particularly for one purpose. What is that purpose? To stop the violence. So what he did in previous verse also we saw what he did. He rejected the presence of the soul itself first of all, because that is the foundation of the Vedic philosophy. So he rejected all the Vedas, because in Vedas it is mentioned to sacrifice a cow, to perform all these what we say, perform all these sacrifices in Vedas only prescribing. So what he has to do? He has to reject the Vedas. So he rejected the Vedas because if you kill someone, your spiritual life is hampered. You cannot make spiritual progress. So first of all, what he did, he stopped the basic thing, killing. After killing, now you gradually follow. Then Adi Shankaracharya came. Then Ramanujan, Madhavacharya, all these different acharyas, they came again to establish the Yuga Dharma. Gradually, they started establishing the Yuga Dharma. Then at last, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave, and he gave the highest form of Yuga Dharma, Harinam Sankirtan. So like that, gradually, Lord Buddha came to eradicate all the Vedas, to reject all the Vedas. And then gradually, this Yuga Dharma was established. Again, the scriptures was established in the right spirit. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established and gave this Sankirtana Yagna. So that is the process. Acharyas, they followed, and Lord Krishna, he particularly came to stop the killing, because without killing, it is not possible to make spiritual progress. If you kill, yes.
Prabhu, I
Yes.
have one question. Is
Mhm.
in any scripture or anywhere is it mentioned that Buddha was incarnation of Krishna?
Yes, Srimad Bhagavatam it is mentioned. Among all Dashavtaras it is mentioned. And other Puranas also it is mentioned. About Adi Shankaracharya also it is mentioned. In Padma Purana it is mentioned. So all, and not only about his incarnation it is mentioned. It is mentioned about his activities also. What that incarnation, that next incarnation is going to do. That is also mentioned in the scriptures. In Srimad Bhagavatam also it is mentioned.
Okay.
Like next incarnation will be Kalki incarnation. Lord Krishna will come as a Kalki. And what he is going to do? He is going to kill everyone. And by that they will get spiritually progressed, because there will be lot of asuric pravritti. People will be very asuri in bhava. So to stop them, he will kill. He will simply kill. Lord Chaitanya, he came to spread the Harinam Sankirtan, to spread the love of Godhead, to spread Krishna Prema, he came. So he didn't kill anyone. He just simply spread the holy name. So different incarnation has different purposes.
Thank you.
Hope it is clear.
It's clear, Prabhu. Thank you.
Any other question or anything?
धन्यवाद प्रभु जी. Thank you.
Prabhu, it's late. Lekin one more thing I want to ask you. I'm
Yeah,
not
please.
aware of one story which is mentioned here, where it talks about that Arjuna defeated Shiva in the form of that hunter ke roop mein. So what was that story? I'm not aware of that.
Okay. So what happened? This Arjuna, he went for hunting, and there Lord Shiva, he is also aware about Arjuna. So he took a form of a hunter. Lord Shiva disguised himself as a hunter, and he also hunted the same animal that Arjuna has hunted. He also shooted that same animal. Both shooted at the same time because Lord Shiva is a great personality. He's one of the greatest Vaishnava. He is one of the greatest devotee. He is one of the greatest demigod. So he shooted that same animal at the same time. So both are fighting. I have shot this animal. He's telling, no, I have shot this animal. So now, how to conclude who has shot and who is the superior? So they started fighting themselves. And then this Arjuna, he fought so, means पूरा बहादुरी से, इतना बहादुरी से वो लड़ा. It pleases Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva got pleased with the fight of Arjuna. How valiantly, like as a great warrior, he fought. So he was very much pleased by Arjuna. So as a blessing, his blessings, he gave him his weapon, this Arjuna, to bless him. Because this Lord Shiva is aware in the future he is going to fight this great battle. So he blessed him with this Astra, Pashupatra Astra.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
So that comes in Mahabharata, this incident. Yes.
एक
Any other
प्रश्न है
question?
प्रभु,
हाँ जी.
एक और प्रश्न आ गया है, क्षमा चाहता हूँ।
No worries. Yes.
तो वेदास, आपने कहा कि लॉर्ड बुद्धा ने उनको रिजेक्ट कर दिया, तो क्या वेदास का अध्ययन हमारे लिए प्रेस्क्राइब्ड है, या हम कभी करना चाहें करना चाहिए, या वो रिजेक्टेड कंसिडर करें उनको?
नहीं, अभी the thing is in Kali Yuga, first of all, to read the Vedas, one needs certain qualification. Just like, for an example, to read the Vedas, at least 15 years, 12 to 15 years minimum you should spend to learn Sanskrit, grammar, and all various aspects of Sanskrit. One should learn. Then one can think of starting with some Puranas and Vedas. Just like, for an example, this word Hari has some 20 meanings. Now, on these Vedas, when we read the Vedas, which meaning is applicable to that particular Sanskrit word? We don't have that kind of intelligence. Which meaning we should apply? Just like Hari means is referred to Lord Krishna. Hari is also referred to lion. Hari is also referred to monkey. So when we say Narsimha or Narhari, for Lord Narsimha we use Narhari also. We tell him as a Narhari. Narhari means what there? There it is not Lord Hari who has come. It is not that meaning. Narhari means he is a half man. Nar means half man, or Hari means half lion. There Hari is used as a lion. So these Vedas are so complicated. If we try to read also, we'll get bewildered. Great scholars, they get confused. And Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, is clearly telling, Vedasya sarver aham eva vedyo vedant krit vedavid evam chaham. I am the person to be known from the Vedas. From me Vedas has come. मेरे से ही वेदों की उत्पन्न हुई है, और मेरे से ही वेदों को समझने का जो गोल है, जो वेदास को पढ़ने का गोल है, वो क्या है? To understand me. And Srila Prabhupada, with his great mercy, he has blessed us with simplified way we can understand Krishna very easily by this Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. If you read entire this Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, these three books if you read, you will understand Krishna very easily. So we are very fortunate that we no need to directly, take that troublesome to read the Vedas, because it is not easy to read the Vedas. And to read the Vedas, one should approach a bona fide qualified person. That person in Kali Yuga getting, first of all, that person in Kali Yuga is not easy. Then some 10 to 15 years full time you should spend to understand Sanskrit, to learn Sanskrit, then you can think of starting with Vedas. So it is very complicated. And in Kali Yuga, we don't have that much time. So we take the essence. Essence of the Vedas is what? To chant the holy name of the Lord. That is the essence of the Vedas. To understand Krishna, that is the essence of the Vedas. So we directly take the essence. So that is a smart work.
धन्यवाद प्रभु जी.
Smart work. Yes. Anything else? So we'll end here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki
जय
Prabhupada ki
जय
जय.
Jai
Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण
Thank you,
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण
प्रभु.
प्रभु जी हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.